It's always a great experience driving a dialed-in E30 M3, and this one is on point.
Keller here, Enthusiast Auto Group. Today we're in EAG Super Secret Warehouse number 2, and today we are going to do a one take of one takes. I am just going to power right through this. It's late and I've got a lot to share with you, a lot of exciting things going on at EAG, including this warehouse. You'll notice that the bubbles are gone, and well, we got a lot more room in here, and well, I'm happy to report that that lease is now a mortgage, a big one, but we've got a building again, number 6 now on EAG's campus. So we have been growing quite a bit, and it's very consistent to get the feedback from the first-time visitors doing their EAG experience, picking up their car as we go through the EAG tour. Wow, your footprint's a lot bigger than we ever thought it was. Well, that's awesome, and we're proud about that, but we're super proud about the quality control and the reason that these people are coming from so far away to bring their cars to EAG to rejuvenate and of course to buy that program we've put all of our cars through that are in the inventory to make them basically near new for a second time. Today we're going to go over a really special car. It's a 1990 E30 M3. It's got really low mileage, and the car right next to it has even lower mileage, a whole 7,000 miles. And you know, that's not the lowest mileage car EAG's played with on the E30 M3 market. A couple of them with lower mileage than that yet. But the one that we're going to be bringing to market here really soon, this is a first look. This is your first opportunity. This car is not advertised anywhere. It's not on our website. This is those that are subscribing are getting this opportunity, this privilege to see a car that maybe others would certainly love to have, but are of course gaining that first access by subscribing to the channel. So if you've not yet hit that bell and like button and all that stuff, again, I don't really know how all this works because I don't have the time to figure it out, because we're growing, we're adding more staff. If you are a very talented and enthusiastic mechanic that really knows these cars, especially the M-Cars really well, I don't care where you live, we are hiring, but we're only looking for the very best because those are the cars that we work on, and that's the talent that we attract. So do drop us an email right there, or give me a call or a text right there if you are that awesome tech and want to work on these cars every day for a living, because we've got lots more space to grow into, as you see behind me, and there's a whole nother building over there and behind there too that are the next phases as we continue this growth path to basically preserve these cars, because you know they're analog as analog gets, and that's kind of boop. As I said, it's a one take. These are as analog as it gets, and you know they're not going to make them like they used to. That has obviously never been more clear than it is today. This E28 here in the foreground that I just drove up from Super Secret Warehouse number 1 has a whole 30,000 miles, and is one of about a dozen or so that has this super low mileage, under about 50,000 miles. Only a dozen or so there. It's going to a repeat client in well, Idaho, and I might as well grab this license plate here for my drive home, because this is a multitasking one take. The car here in front of us is going to be the subject of the video today. This is a 40,000 mile 1990 Diamondschwarz on silver, the gray leather, which is quite striking on this car, and it's got a couple really choice, tasteful mods. This is bugging me just a little bit. I need to tighten that up. We'll go ahead and do that when we complete the Rejuve program, and you'll notice those are the Hella smoked smileys. Those are a really rare headlight that is super hard to find these days. Definitely, well, I don't think it's available anymore, and it is probably the biggest mod on this car outside of, I believe, a short shift kit and a Evo cam gear. But all that's in the big record binder that is included with this car. And this car with 40,000 miles is, frankly, it was his, I don't want to say starter car, because this family has a lot of really fantastic BMWs in the collection, 507, M1, Z8, I mean, some really mega stuff that we've been working with for going on a decade or so, and they're out east, and really just an enthusiastic family to the definition. There's some pedal covers, of course, in the E36 style shift knob. A full list of everything that is non-stock in this car, which is, again, a rather short list, less than 10 things probably. I'll be happy to send to the next prospective owner as we go through and process this car. It's the fixed rear windows being a 1990, a later 90, because the early 90s, actually the very first month, would actually not have an airbag. The first month of production would be an airbagless wheel on the 1990 model year, where the 90s did have the fixed windows, the 89s and 88s had the venting rear windows. Fun fact for you there. You know, I've driven this car for 2 or 3 days now, and 3 days I think, and it's a really fantastic car. It's all original panels, as noticed there by the VIN tag. Again, there's that big record binder with all the service history, and it's a 4Runner car that started life out in California and was out west, I believe, until 2008 or so. Went to Virginia, and then about 2015 or 16 or so, our most recent EAG collector client acquired the car. And you know, the main reason that he decided to part with the car and bring EAG into the mix is, well, we found him something different that he was really lusting for to begin with, and this is the upgrade. The first E30 M3 doesn't always need to be the last. Your second can be your upgrade, and this is a 7,000 mile 1988 M3. And you know, I'm not going to go into all the details on the car. It's a very, 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 very special car that has, well, a couple small things to update and take care of, and that's why it's here for a rejuve. We're going through. We sold the car to him several years ago, and it was a car that never hit the market. The relationship was established, and so many of our cars, frankly, never hit the market. Half the stuff in this warehouse is not on the market. That red CSI, you've not seen that on our website outside of the window sticker. There's just a lot of value to building the relationships that we do, and that's why we always encourage people to call for price. It's not call for price, it's call to build that relationship. We need to change that verbiage. Our new website is coming soon. Again, when we get to it, it's been a very, very busy season, year, decade. But we're super thankful, super thankful all the same. And so, yeah, this is what a 7,000 mile E30 M3 looks like. And I'm going to actually drive this car home tonight, do the final rounds of quality control before we send it back out east to join the ranks of that really sweet collection. In the meantime, we're going to talk about this beautiful, beautiful 90 M3. The paint on the car is super great. Again, this is a rival condition. We've not done anything to the car other than write that EAG rejuvenation roadmap. It is 7 or 8 pages long. Again, available for email to anybody that wants to take a closer look and consider this car for their stable. You know, these are assets at these points and times, and when you get behind the wheel of one of these things, I can tell you that it is a true and pure time machine. I've been driving these older cars for 21 years now straight, seems like, and it does not get any better than jumping in one of these. It's just like an old friend, it's an old love. I just love running this thing to redline, of course, waiting for that oil temperature, because you have a gauge that tells you right there what your oil temperature is to come up to a proper level before going out and giving it the beans. And it's great to be able to get everything out of a car and drive it the way that it was designed and engineered to be driven. And it's just way more enjoyable that way. And in this case, with an E30, you're not really breaking a whole lot of rules, and you're not being that unsafe because the car is so manageable. It's such a communicative chassis. I mean, this is like the most drivable. I'm going to teach my kids. They're 5 and 7 right now, and they're going to learn to drive everything on an E30 M3, because I think that really this is the best overall car to understand what a car does when you give it the inputs, and it becomes an extension of the driver. And if you don't have goosebumps right now, then you've not driven an E30 M3. If you do, then you're excited to drive one, because that's really about the only two reactions you should have from that statement. It's a marvelous, marvelous car. There's no shortage of press out there. Here, 30 some years removed from production, 1986, the first production year for the Euro. The car is still a halo car for so many, and it should be. And this is at the top. Most would consider this a #1 condition car, especially when the rejuve program has been completed. All VINs intact. You'll see there one on the fender, or there on the hood, another on the fender over there. We skimmed by, you saw the VIN tag there on that door. Your next VIN tag is going to be up here under the toolkit. If we're really going to get picky, then we can show you the VIN tags on the bumpers. Most people don't show those. There's a lot of cars on Bring a Trailer that will never have a VIN tag pictured on a bumper. Frankly, I've never seen a VIN tag on any bumper pictured on Bring a Trailer, and that's just one example of well, that's a whole different conversation. So many of those cars, especially the really low mileage ones that are purchased on BAT, that are wearing of this M badge and do have that heralded thing called oh yeah, what's that? Where's it at on this car? Oh, let's see. It's called a dipstick. That is a true M car. M badge plus dipstick, metal key. If we really want to get into it. That equals analog M, and those are the cars. Well, this car was purchased on Bring a Trailer. That's a Dynon Stage 3 supercharged E39 M5 that is a Canadian spec car that has 21,000 miles. It's at EAG for a second time, if you can believe that. I can go on and on. There's a Euro M6 over there that was purchased on Bring a Trailer. There's several other cars that were purchased on other websites, Cars and Bids, collecting cars. I'm not going to go over all the sweet cars in this warehouse. There's some private collectors that like to send their stuff to us, and we'll respect that. Speaking of private collectors, congratulations, Joe. I'm going to throw you out there on the Mystic 11,000 mile car. Another car that's not yet hit the market. We sold it, bought it from the first owner, sold it to a private collector in Canada, brought it back to the States. Now 5 years later, and 11,000 miles on that car going out east. Again, the M5, so much cool stuff. I could spend days in here talking to you guys about all these cool cars, but you're just gonna have to subscribe if you want to continue to learn more about these fun cars that we certainly love and cherish. Where was I? The rejuve program, like the spoiler right there. These original paint cars do need a little bit of love and TLC, and that full prescription roadmap to make this car new for a second time is going to be included in the sale price. All of the cars we sell do include that full EAG rejuve program to make that turnkey for a second time in life. E30 M3s, we're typically spending, I mean, 15 grand is probably a car we probably owned 8 or 10 years ago. 20, 25 grand is typically a car that we're owning for the first time, making that new again. Might as well finish that VIN tag lap. I keep getting distracted with all these fun bits of candy around. I will probably go back to the stock pedals on there. Maybe I would personally, but if we're going to do any high performance driving, that wider gas pedal does make heel towing a bit easier. Haven't fully processed this car to even get a price point on it. It's not been detailed, as you can tell. As I said, I've been driving the car, hence why it's dirty, and it got rained on twice. And it's rained on twice, and it still looks this good. If you've been watching our videos, you remember all those bubbles that were sitting in here with our buddy that we shared the space with, frankly, the guy that owned the building up until 2 months ago. He's moved his stuff out, and we're moving our stuff in. We're going to have a whole lot of lifts up in here real soon, and again, if you're a fantastic BMW technician, if you know how to solve problems and use your head and are logical and have a high degree of common sense, if other people around you and know you say you have common sense, let's go with that, then we want to have that conversation with you. Here's a pair of Sport Evos that we bought out of Italy a long time ago, about 4 years ago, and we bought them as a pair. Here they are back together again as a pair. Sold them to 2 different enthusiasts. Bought them back within about the same week or so. Again, not on market, and sold them to another pair of loving enthusiasts on opposite sides of the country a second time. Congratulations to Dave and Mr. Billy. These guys are so excited to get these two Sport Evos. About 4 or 5 Sport Evos I think we've sold in the last 6 months or so, and again, many of which are not on market. Wish I could say all these cars are perfectly clean in here, because they're not, and we just frankly haven't been having a chance to catch our breath with everything going on these days. But this is going to be a very big transformation and growth year for EAG, our breakout year, if you maybe even want to go that far. Some really crazy stuff in the pipeline. Euro bumper E28 M5. Again, a lot of rejuve cars as well. Just sold that one today. Congratulations to Ryan in Northern Ohio. He's staying in Ohio. Again, 850 CSI. That car came out of Mexico City. We imported that one. So again, I can go on here for days and have a whole lot of fun in here. Everybody that buys a car from EAG is certainly welcome to come and have that EAG experience. Come visit, see what's going on that day, meet the EAG pit crew, go through the workshops, go through some fun drives. We had a 74,000 mile E39 M5s leave today going to New York, and he'd never driven an E30 M3 and owned an M coupe, and so he drove this car for a couple miles today. Congratulations to Nick. He's on his way back to the Bronx. Brought in a trade-in, and we'll sell that Ford Focus RS, I'm sure pretty handily, because he bought it new and took great care of it. So be sure to stay tuned to the miscellaneous section of the website, because those are always really great cars too. So yeah, ton of information, one take wonder, old school, OG style. I do hope you're enjoying these videos. Do subscribe for more. A lot of really great stuff in the pipeline. Holy moly. 30 or 40 cars probably sold that are in process, and we're getting them out the door as soon as possible. Do know that once you say, yes, that's my car, here's my money, put my name on it, it's going to be a couple weeks, maybe a couple months before that car gets through all the steps of the quality control program, because we do take our sweet time, but we do them right, and we stand behind them. That's why we buy all of our cars back. Half the cars in this building we've owned before. That's just the way we do it. We stand behind it, and certainly appreciate everybody's support along the way. And with that, well, see you.